Hello everybody, and welcome to Menti Breaky Epi 32.
I'm gonna try and have really good posture in this one.
Okay, why?
Because I have really bad posture.
Okay, good luck. Let's start off with the would you rather.
Okay.
Let's get heated.
So you were, I don't know if you got heated about this.
Oh, okay.
But like, I was trying to think of all the would you rathers that me and my friends used to do, but they were all like quite perverted.
Right.
Like, they were all just like...
Disgusting.
Yeah, they were all horrifying.
And like mentally ill. Well, because I was trying to think of some before this episode too, and I was like, these are all just like sad and weird, and I don't like this.
Well, like a famous one that the girls and guys would always pick different things on was, I would say, I came up with this one, I think. It was, would you rather sleep with someone who was mentally 5 years old but looked 25, and no one would ever know that you were fucking a mentally 5-year-old?
Okay.
Or maybe you were like dating them.
Okay.
And no, or fucking them, we'll say.
But he's 25?
No, they just look 25.
But they're 5?
But they're 5.
Okay.
Or would you want to fuck someone who is 25 but looks 5?
Oh god, that's so fucked up.
But okay, so then all the girls, and then, okay, so then to put a twist on it, nobody knows that you're fucking the person that is 5 but looks 25. Like,
right.
Only you would know that you're fucking a 5-year-old.
Right.
And if you fucked the person that looks 5 but is 25, everyone would know, but they'd be like, oh, Monica's like fucking this person with this weird disease. That's not
oh,
nice
so
of
they
her.
know that he is 25.
They do know, yeah.
But he looks 5.
Yeah. What would you do?
Well, all the guys would say that
Every single guy was like, I choose the 5-year-old.
The 5-year-old,
that
yeah.
looks 25. I'm like, so rape?
Yeah.
Like every guy.
Yeah.
And all the girls were like, yeah, I guess I'd fuck the like person with the weird disease, and everyone thinks I'm like a good person then.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm like, how do you justify this? They're like, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, no. Why would they care?
No.
What?
I'm like, this person might grow up and have like, all these, they're like, not my problem.
Yeah.
So that was one we would do a lot, and I found that one was split by gender.
Yeah. I would fuck the guy who looked 5.
Of course, because you don't want to commit a crime.
Right. Would this be like you're forced to do either one, or am I in love with the 5-year-old?
No, you're not in love with
or
the 5-year-old.
the 5-year-old. In love with the 25 that looks 5.
I mean, you could be. Maybe you
Right.
fall in love.
Right. But either way.
Personality.
Yeah, either way I have to pick.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, it sucks that every man in the world is so comfortable with rape.
Yeah, fucking a 5-year-old. Okay, that's why I couldn't think of any would you rathers, because they were like that, and I was
Yeah, they're all
depressed.
fucked up. But then I saw one online that made me laugh, because I think we'll pick different ones. It was
Okay.
like, would you rather like your ex's picture, or accidentally like your ex's picture on Instagram, or send your mom a sext? And I was like, accidentally?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Ex's picture 100%.
Oh, you would?
Yeah.
What? Don't you have like toxic exes though?
Yeah, but like, what are you gonna do? Like, cry about it?
That's funny.
I
I
don't
would
know.
pick that too, obviously.
Well, here's the thing. I like my ex's picture. What happens to me in the world? Genuinely.
Yeah.
What? You're gonna fucking tell your new wife and your kid, fucking ex liked my picture. Like, okay, tell all your fucking boys at boys' night.
Who's like the person, like, can you think of someone that you're like, I wouldn't. Like, I would rather sext my mom than like their picture.
Honestly, at this point in my life, I don't give a fuck, so no.
Yeah, okay. There's no one.
No.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone either. Like, everyone, I just feel like, oh well.
Oh well. Like, what are you gonna do? You know, like it's fine.
Yeah. Would you rather sext your mom or dad?
My mom.
Of course. I'd rather sext your mom. Your dad follows me now, by the way. I'm like, I'm glad both of Monica's parents follow me on Instagram.
Aww.
Yeah, it's very cute. I was like, alright.
Yeah, he's trying so hard.
Post a lot of pictures of food. I'm like, nice.
Yeah, I take those pictures for him.
That's so cute.
Yeah, my parents are trying to be supportive, but
I wonder who I would rather sex. Like, I might honestly rather sex my dad.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'd be like, I just send another message and be like, let's never talk about this, but my mom would want to like sit me down and like pray with me.
Yeah, your dad seems cool. Like he talked to you about your boob job. I mean, your mom seems cool too.
He's cool in the way that like we don't talk.
Right. Yeah, we love that.
Yeah,
we love silence.
If I did something embarrassing, I'd just be like, never bring this up, and then we wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, I do think I'm at a point. I once wrote a joke about this and it never really like developed, but where I was like, we have too much power. Like, why can I message my ex at any point?
That's true.
I should go to jail for, like, they should have, like, that should be a community violation.
Like, he should be dead. Like, back in the day, if you had an ex, that meant he died of cholera.
Like, he should be dead. Like, why are we still roaming the internet together?
But he should have been enlisted in war.
Yeah.
And be like, oh.
And already dead in the war.
Yeah.
Or, like, if you're not enlisted in the war, like, I should not have the ability to reach out.
No.
Like, I can reach out right now.
Yeah.
I could technically stop this podcast.
I was just messaging my ex.
Exactly. Exactly. We shouldn't be able to do that.
Insane.
Back in the day.
I saw a picture of Barcelona and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Remember we lived here together?
Yeah, and he was like, we're exes, but we're still gonna talk.
Horrible.
But yeah, it just sucks that we have the ability to do that.
It does suck. I agree with you.
If we were back in the 1800s, I wouldn't have that ability.
No.
I'd already be dead from colitis.
That's true. You wouldn't have time to write a letter to your ex.
No.
And send it via pigeon.
I wouldn't have time to write a letter to my ex, send it via pigeon. Even if I did, it wouldn't have time to get back to me in the pigeon.
It would be funny to write a letter and be like, you up? And he gets it in like 5 weeks. And he responds, yeah, you're dead from colitis. Like, sorry, I died from colitis in the time it took you to respond to my you up text, my letter.
I should die from colitis. My mom has colitis.
I assumed you were like saying because you probably had it too or something.
No, I don't.
You don't have it.
But she has medications for it.
Yeah, no, I always think that like if there is an apocalypse, I have to say goodbye to my mom like immediately because she would die from Crohn's.
People used to die from like pneumonia.
Yeah.
You get a cold and you're dead.
Oh yeah, everything. Literally everything. Well, I mean, I've had like infections, so I'm like, I wonder how many times I'd be dead at this point because like even like a yeast infection.
Yeah.
And, like, were women just like walking around with those?
I wouldn't even be alive. I'm Jewish.
Like in the sense that a world leader would have killed you?
Maybe like a world leader, or like I guess I personally don't have a lot of stomach issues, but you know, like the Jews have health concerns.
No, but I just mean like what I'm saying is like real things that have happened to you.
Right.
In this day and age. I'm like, I've had a lot of urinary tract infections.
Right.
I'm assuming each one of those would have killed me.
Right. I've had a couple.
I've split my arm open. I would have lost my arm.
Yeah. You could have even died from like blood loss or something.
Well, yeah, I would have. See, I don't think I would have died from blood loss. Like we wrapped it up, but it would have just gotten infected.
Yeah,
and they would have just. Yeah, I would have they would have just like chopped off the arm and like burned it shut or something.
You know what we wouldn't have died from though?
What?
Childbirth, because we don't have any. What's up, bitches? We're still out here.
I wonder. Would all our friends be dead?
Yeah.
Interesting. We would only have guy friends left. And they'd be like, let me get you pregnant. And we'd be like, no.
We don't want to die. This kind of goes into like dating in general these days. Because it's like I was talking to my therapist and my friends about it. And it's so difficult because like I've kind of gotten back on the dating apps recently. And I went on 2 dates, and I used to date a lot on the dating apps, like in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, recently I've just been like, oh, I'm actually just like happy with my life and comedy, and I don't feel the need to be like on these fucking dating apps all the time.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like trying to date because I'm like trying to find someone or whatever. And it's like I went on 2 dates a few weeks ago, and I was like, that's fucking enough.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough for the whole year, you know?
Yeah.
And what's difficult is, like, you're dating in such a, like, vacuum. I don't know if that's the word. But it's like, I've just met guys in comedy where I don't like them for, like, a very long time. And then I develop a crush because we get to know each other and we're friends in the same circles. And you don't get to do that when you meet people on the dating apps.
Yeah, I completely agree. But that's also just like life. Like sometimes it takes a while and then you're like, you hear that story all the time. They're like, oh, we were friends forever and then we got married.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
The dating apps, so you have like one chance.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I hate this person.
Yeah.
Could be the love of your life.
Well, because you also hate them because you're putting... I just think you're subconsciously putting pressure on it to be like, do I like this person in a romantic sense or not? Mm-hmm. Whereas if you met them naturally in the world and you guys just like did an activity together, or, like did comedy together, it's like you don't have to be in that state of mind.
Yeah.
Like you can just like get to know them.
Yeah, there's definitely zero pressure if you're just like, this is my friend or this is a person around me, and then you like actually get to see the real them. Because yeah, that's the other thing too. You're just like, it's you when you know ahead of time, you're like, not only am I going to be like evaluating them, they're going to be evaluating me, and then you're like, am I being myself right now? Are they being themselves right now? Like what version of myself am I pretending to be on this date? Yeah,
like I went on a date with this guy and like it was fine, so I was like, okay, I'll go on another date. And then I went on a second date, but I'm like, am I gonna just keep fucking like doing this? Like how many dates? And then it's like, I've always tried to be like, okay, if I'm enjoying myself or if I want to go on another date, I'll go on another date. But then I also think to myself, like, what if I just met this person in real life? Like, would it develop after like 6 months? But it's like, I'll never know.
No.
And he was like into it and messaging me. And then I messaged him being like, to be honest, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel. So it's like, so then I guess the option is like, okay, let's go on another date to see how you feel. But it's like, I don't want to go on another date to see how I feel.
I know, because then if you feel like no, you're like, oh my god, I've wasted so much time.
And then what? I have to go for like another brunch and walk or another fucking...
Is that your dates?
Sometimes.
That sounds nice.
It was nice. Like, it was nice,
but then I remember he also messaged you like, oh, sorry, I was a bit nervous. It's like, yeah, like, of course.
I know. And I also just feel like, if it's meant to be, it'll kind of, like, it doesn't matter if the other person's nervous or not, you know? Like, if you vibe, you vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do know, like, a lot of my friends have had success on the dating apps.
Yeah, me too.
Like, a ton of my friends are married and they met on an app.
Yeah.
And I just, like, know a ton of people in general.
I know.
That met that way. So I think it is possible.
Well, then I also look at the guys that I'm, like, attracted to from real life, and I'm like, okay, well, this would never work. So it's like, neither is working.
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like you're not going to meet that guy in a dating app anyway.
No. And if
you
I
do,
it still wouldn't work.
No.
I know.
Yeah, I completely agree with that as well. I've had success on dating apps, but then I've also had, like, horror stories on dating apps.
Yeah.
But I feel like... the guys that I've dated that I've met in real life, I agree with you. It wasn't really instant.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, they're cool. I like actually met them a few times usually.
Yes.
I would meet them like over and over and it's just like, oh, they're chill. And then finally I was like, oh, they're kind of, whatever.
But I also hate that because it's like when you meet someone in real life, you don't know, right? Like you don't know if they're in a relationship perhaps. You don't know if
I'm trying to marry you.
I know, thanks. You don't know if they're like, you don't know their intentions. Whereas I feel like, I mean, on the dating apps, obviously they can be cheating too, but it's like you both swiped right. You're both like, there's like a base foundation.
I'm so kind of the opposite.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's easier to lie on, like, with this complete stranger, whereas if I know the person, I can kind of draw from, like, all of the stuff I know about them to be like, what is their intention? Whereas you're like, well, we both, because you've said this to me before.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wow, that's so crazy that you like put yourself out there in real life, and you're like, what? You don't know if the person likes you back. And I'm like, well, I kind of do.
Yeah, I have no clue at all.
Yeah. Literally, ever.
I'm like, so constantly lost.
Literally once a week, me and all of Monica's friends will be getting a rundown of an interaction Monica had, and then at the end she'll be like, what does it mean? I'm like, I don't know.
No, you guys are you're always like, oh yeah, he's into you.
Yeah.
And then he's not.
That's true. There's been many times where I will be like convinced, I'd be like, no, this is definitely like if he, but I'm also going off of, I am not there. I'm going off of the information I've received from Monica, and I'm like, if all this is true, then this guy wants to fuck. And you'd be like, nope, turned out he was in a relationship. I'm like, okay.
No, like literally, it started with me shaving my...
No, I know, that's what I
He was
mean.
in a bathroom.
Yeah, and then you're like, he went home
To
to
FaceTime.
Zoom or FaceTime
His
a girl.
Yeah, a girl.
Yeah.
FaceTime, it wasn't even an in-person fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I like the dating apps. Because I'm unclear.
Yeah, you're unclear, whereas I feel like I'm usually pretty clear.
Yeah.
And then, but then I also, like, if I am unclear, I don't maybe I'm just, like, not putting myself out there. Like, because sometimes I'm like, I wonder. And then I'm just like, oh, I'll just wait.
I think deep down I know it's not a thing. But I'm like, let's make it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's trauma. It's therapy.
Yeah.
I don't fucking... Anyways,
that brings us to, that's your way of what...
Oh, yeah. My way of playing hard to get is telling men that I love them.
Yeah.
It's pretty true.
But that, my way of, I used to have a joke, but no one liked it, was my version of rejecting a man is blowing him and buying him an Uber home. That's me setting a boundary.
Yeah. And then
being like, well, you didn't fuck him, Hannah. Good job. Like, what?
Yeah.
People do not relate to that joke, though.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think our queens would relate to that.
Yes, please. Let me know if you relate to that. This is a horrible story I had with the dating app, though, was, I literally, like, fucked a guy once that I just wanted to, like, not be around anymore, because I don't have boundaries,
right? And
it was the worst sex of my life, truly horrible, because he was just such a not like bad person in that way, but it was just like there was no chemistry. We should not have been together. I've done this like multiple times from a dating app, so that's why maybe with me with a dating app, it's like I don't like that as much. It's just like doesn't work for me. But it was so bad. I'm trying to think like the worst thing he did. The worst thing he did was before we even fucked. I think he kept wanting to like break that touch barrier. You know what that is? But like it's so easy to do that I just did it. I can put my hand on you. That's it. Yeah. His way of continually breaking the touch barrier was literally like scratching behind my ear.
Stop.
You're like, I'm a dog.
I would have kicked him out.
Well, no, we were in public when he was doing this.
Oh.
He'd be like, you're so cute, and like
Why
scratch behind my ear.
Without him.
You were like, whatever. I was living in Amsterdam at the time, and I had no friends.
Right.
And I was really trying to, like, make connections with people.
Aww.
Yeah.
But now Hannah has friends, and she's part of the Menti Breaky podcast, and I'm her best friend ever. So don't even worry about Hannah.
So don't scratch behind my ear
Don't scratch behind her ear ever. Hannah doesn't even like physical touch in general, let alone ear scratch. I think
this is why he was doing the ear scratch, because I don't like physical touch, so he couldn't get in anywhere.
Oh.
And so then
he decided to scratch behind your ear?
That was the only way he could, like, get in at me.
Right.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, you're so funny, or something like that. And I was like, okay. Like, don't do that.
I love when men try to break the touch barrier. I had a joke about that too, when like a man's trying to like touch your thigh and get close to you, and you're like, babe, I'm not even close to finish yapping.
Yeah.
Like, we have so much yapping to do before we fuck. Like, don't even. And he's like, just, you can tell, you can tell when a man is trying to like, be like, shut up and get to bed.
Yes.
And you're like, I have so much more tea to spill that you don't care about.
Yeah. So you have to listen.
Don't you hate it though when like a man just like, he touches your thigh and he like looks at you like desperately to be like,
yes,
it's time to fuck. And I'm like, it's time to fuck when I say it's time to fuck.
Oh, I do hate that.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm here. Just give me a rest.
Yeah, because guys, like, that's what like every guy, like guys when they're like in the mood, they have such a poor way of trying to get us in the mood.
I know.
They're very bad at it.
I once went to this guy's house, and like it was kind of like it was kind of set up that we were gonna have sex. And I got there, and immediately I was like, I cannot with this man. Like, immediately.
Really?
I just wasn't into it.
Mhm.
Like, we, like, had been talking, like, whatever. And, like,
Mhm.
well, we weren't gonna have sex, but we were gonna, like, it was kind of a date. We were gonna hook up. Like, it was
Mhm.
kind of, like, that's how the talking was going.
Mhm.
And I got there, and I was like, I don't like this man. I don't
Yeah.
like the vibe. I don't like the smell. I don't like anything. And so he was, like, desperately trying to, like, put his hand on my thigh and, like, look at me, like, because he, like, wanted to hook up. And I was like, how am I going to get out of this situation? And he's sitting right beside me, Hannah, okay?
Mhm.
And I pull out my phone. There's obviously no message on my phone. Like, he can see.
No.
He can see that there's no message on the phone. I, like, pretend to open it. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I just got a message. Like, I have to go.
Mhm.
And, like, we both know that I did not get a message.
What did he say? Was he just like,
what's he gonna say? Yeah, he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, bye. And I ran out of his house.
Yeah, good for you.
Thanks. What else did we have on this episode? Oh, yeah, you rewatched Anastasia.
Well, that kind of ties into this.
Yeah.
I rewatched Anastasia for a project, and I realized because that was like the first movie I became obsessed with, and the main guy in it, I'm like, oh, this is my type.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually sad because he's just like a charming scam artist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, with dark hair,
Yeah.
tall, thin.
Yeah.
Literally looks like every guy I've dated.
But this is like a typical type, though. Like, this isn't just you.
I know, that's obviously why they made it the main
Exactly.
male character, but I was just like, oh, I think I got it from this movie.
Well,
I watched it over and over as a child.
That's what I was saying
and
about
fell
Cinderella.
in love with Dimitri,
Yeah.
who was the main man in the movie.
That's what I was saying about Cinderella, is like, when you watch something every single day at the age of 8, it's kind of going to get embedded into your brain that this is like how life works.
Truly.
Like damsel in distress, Dimitri, like it's like that's just what you think life is.
Yes, and she's also like a little bratty, and Anastasia's a little bratty in the movie, and he has to kind of like win her over. And I'm like, oh, this set me up for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Cinderella set you up.
Well, it's interesting because like in Disney movies, the prince or whatever ends up always with the princess, and they fall in love and they live happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as women, we understood the assignment.
Yeah.
But then I don't understand like where men,
because they weren't watching those movies.
what were they watching?
The Fox and the Hound.
Oh.
That's James Cameron's
Like the
our
fucking
favorite guy.
boys?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, that one's for the boys.
But like I feel
or
like
the Lion King. They're all just dreaming of becoming king.
Right. Okay. They didn't watch Cinderella.
They weren't watching Cinderella and Anastasia. They were watching Power Rangers.
Right.
They were fake punching each other.
Yeah.
Instead of learning how to fall in love with a woman.
Right. Well, because I was gonna say like I never learned about fuckboys in the Disney movies that I watched.
Yeah, right.
Until, or if you learned about a fuckboy in a Disney movie, he always ended up changing for the girl.
Yeah.
Like he always ended up falling in love with the girl and like changing his ways.
Dimitri was like a bit of a fuckboy.
Exactly, but
then
he ended up with Anastasia.
Yeah.
Didn't cheat on her.
Yeah.
And they lived a happy life together.
Yeah.
So that's what we've learned.
Yeah. We're like, oh, they'll change for me.
Yeah. Even in like rom-coms, it's like that shitty men change.
Yeah.
For the women. And then I'm like, why isn't the art reflected in the life?
Completely agree. And also, you were going to talk about Frozen, right?
Yeah, I was going to talk about Frozen because Frozen is the first movie that I've seen where the prince, not Elsa, but
Anya,
whatever, Anna, whatever. And she fell in love with him. And he was like, I'm so in love with you. And then he was like, jokes, I'm an asshole. And I was like, thank God they're showing this to little girls.
Yeah, and they'll be like, you'll actually get this a lot more than the happily ever after.
Yes. And still in that movie, there was a happily ever after, which like, oh, whatever. Yeah. With that like chill guy that drove the sled or whatever the fuck. Yeah. But like, overall, I'm like, you need to show young girls this man.
Yeah, and it is hard because they want to sell, and like a little love story sells. Yeah. But you gotta show young girls shit.
You have to show young girls that men are not shit. Yeah. It's really, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, me either.
As a young girl.
Oh, I can't wait to find my Dimitri.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I can't wait to find my Prince Charming.
Yeah.
just gonna fucking clean a house until he comes around.
Hang out with rats until
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out with rats until he shows up.
Really? She should have married Gus.
Yeah, that's true. The Sim.
The Sim.
Gus the Sim.
The adorable Sim.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. But actually, that's good. I can talk about that. But I did set a boundary recently.
Hannah did set a boundary recently.
Not with a guy trying to fuck, but with someone not paying me.
Yes.
With actually 2 people not paying me.
Yes.
And both times I was like, I consulted other people and I was like, I'm not being bad
You
for
didn't consult
demanding.
me.
Because you weren't on the show.
Oh, okay.
I consulted people that were involved, and I was like, I'm in the position to demand payment, right? And they're like, Hannah, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, right.
Well, yeah, like I've seen recently women in comedy being like shortchanged and not being paid, and more so than men.
Yep.
And it's also just like there's no HR in comedy, as we've spoken about. So you either stand up for yourself or you don't. And it's difficult because it's like, I've been shortchanged in comedy, and it's like, should I stand up for myself because these are good shows and I don't want to piss off the producer? Or should I not? And it's like, I kind of make like a game time decision. I'm like, am I like, is being booked on the show again more important than the pay, or should I stand up for myself for pay for the future?
Yeah.
And I think it just depends on the situation for me personally. I mean, I know that the right answer is like, stand up for yourself and you were promised this pay, but it's like, in actual practice, it's different.
Yeah, but it's also just like sucks that we're put in this position as women.
100%.
It's just like, you aren't doing this to men.
Yeah.
Because with one of the shows, I did talk to the male headliner, and he's like, yeah, he didn't pay me, and then I just demanded pay, and he paid me immediately. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
So then I demanded pay, and it still took weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like getting nasty, and this is a person I see in the comedy scene, and I'm like, this sucks. Yeah. I'm not this person. I don't want to be nasty to you. I would love to have a nice relationship. You're forcing this on me.
Yes.
But I have to set a boundary because you've paid the male headliner and you haven't paid me.
Yeah.
So then I did, and then they ended up giving me extra money for my troubles,
yeah,
which was nice. But then, again, another situation, they paid some people, didn't pay me.
Yeah.
And that one, I was, again, just because they were also then blaming me. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, that was the boundary I set, because I was like, not only am I demanding to get paid, but at that point, I already knew I was going to get paid, but then they had to make a comment like, yeah, you fucked up. And I was like, no, I didn't.
Like, actually, you fucked up.
Yeah, so then I made the comment back. I was like, actually, you fucked up.
Yeah.
And then they admitted that they did.
Yeah, I was very proud of you.
But yeah, it's just like, I hate that we have to be put in this position.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am like trying.
I feel like, yeah, it's at some point females, and then it's at some point, like, I know where I've been shortchanged. It's also people that are more new to comedy that
it's a power thing.
It's a power thing, and it's like they know that I won't speak up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm at a point with like certain shows where I'm like, I don't need you anymore. I don't need to be booked on your show. So if you don't want to pay me like appropriately, I just like won't come back.
100%. Yeah, there's like clubs that have done that to us, and we didn't speak up, but because it's also just like, I know that they're not just doing it to the women, they're doing it to everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, then that's how you guys run a business.
Exactly.
And I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make us think about it, but then if I have the opportunity to not help you or to screw you over, I might do that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to tell the story. I don't know. I'm going to throw it out. I was thinking of adventures that we've had in comedy. And there was one time where this girl asked me to do like this corporate show for her dad's company, which was like an allergy company. So it was a bunch of Jews, and we did it at this like Orthodox Jewish restaurant
in the back room.
In the back room at Yonge and Eglinton, and they just asked me, but I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna fucking bring Hannah to do this with me. But then we thought the show was gonna be. She was like, it's either going to be in Toronto or in Burlington.
Yes.
And so I thought it was going to be in Burlington. So then Hannah set up a drug deal in Burlington.
Yeah, because like you may as well.
Because you may as well while you're in Burlington.
Yeah.
But then the show ended up being in Toronto. So then we had to drive to Burlington to pick up shrooms.
Sure. Is that what we're going with?
Okay, we had to
drive.
It was Molly.
It's not that bad.
Yeah. I was like, people are going to think it's like...
Shrooms and Molly are both...
Okay, yeah, it was Molly.
From the same family.
Yeah, so we had to
if you think you're so good because you only do shrooms, you're basically doing Molly.
So we drove to Burlington to pick up Molly for Hannah's rave, and then we drove back to an Orthodox Jewish restaurant to put on a comedy show for them.
Yeah, and that really speaks volumes about who we are. Each are as people.
Yeah, it does. It was so fun. That was like such a good night.
Yeah, you crushed. I was mid.
No, but it was like...
But I was also very uncomfortable.
You also had just picked up Molly and like didn't understand.
It wasn't
And I
bad.
also fucked you over because I was like, I don't know how much we can talk about
yeah.
Jews. So then
and I was like, what? Like, because already I was just like, we were in an Orthodox Jewish restaurant, would you say?
Yeah, it was.
So then I was just like, already like, I'm out of place here.
Yeah.
I was in like camo pants. And there were people dressed up.
You were in camo pants and your crop top.
Yeah, I was in pants.
And like there was a separate sink for like prayer hand washing.
People had their heads covered. Like women were very modest there, and I was like, okay.
It was so fucking funny.
So I was like a little uncomfortable.
No, but
and
they
also,
loved you.
Yeah, I mean, but they loved you more, and rightly so. You crushed at that show. But I was just like, I'm sorry if I like did a bad job. I like felt bad after. And you're like, no, you're great.
No, it was so fun.
But and then we were also just eating in the back because they took a while to get there, and then you were like negotiating the whole time. You're like, okay, well, we're gonna need food. You're gonna have to pay us for our time. And he's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I was like, you go, Monica.
Well, what happened was they were like, do you want to order food? And Hannah was like, oh no, it's okay. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna fucking order food. And we
because I thought we were gonna have to pay for it. You're like, we will not be paying for this.
Yeah, we're not paying for it. And then like we ordered so much food, and the food was really good too.
It was good, yeah.
And then we just like hung out. And,
and I remember loving it because I looked at the menu and I was like, I can eat everything on this menu.
Yeah, because it was a kosher menu.
Yes.
It was just like fish. Was it?
It was fish.
Yeah, it was fish. Yeah.
No seafood, obviously.
Right.
It was just, but it was like salmon and tuna and everything. So, because they wouldn't do chicken, right?
I don't think so.
No, it was just.
Yeah.
Or would they? I don't think they did. I think I literally could eat everything on the menu at the time. And I was like, I need to just go to kosher restaurants because I love this menu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we got really good fish there.
Yeah. We got that like tuna stack or something.
The like whatever you call it, ceviche, whatever.
Salad.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I remember being so. I was like, wait, I can eat everything.
What a great evening.
Yeah.
And then Hannah was like, is this holy water? Because they had like a hand washing station. You were like, what's Jewish?
There was a lot. The amount of water in that restaurant
there was so much water.
Insane.
They had a lot
Every
of waters.
person was given a jug of water. Just for whatever you wanted to do with it. And I was like, why? Like, if you even had a sip of water, they're like, let me get you 2 more jugs. And you're like, literally, there was a jug of water in front of everyone. There was bottles of water all over the wall. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
There was an extra sink.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't get more water into that place.
What a great evening.
Yeah, that was fun.
Picking up Molly and then doing a show at a Jewish Orthodox restaurant.
I can't remember. I think the Molly was shit, though.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's how she goes sometimes.
Yeah. And so now we want to follow up on our last Menti Breaky Queen. So Mike, we said his name, right? Yeah. So Mike was saying how he used to drive his crush to a guy's house so that she could cheat on her boyfriend. Like she'd drive him from the boyfriend's house, or from her house to the boyfriend's. To the whatever. Anyways.
So the boyfriend wouldn't notice.
So the boyfriend wouldn't notice that she was fucking the guy that she was cheating on him with. So then we followed up and we were like, did you idle your car? Because he would wait for her to get fucked and then drive her home.
Yeah, we're like, that's a lot of gas.
That's a lot of gas. He said no, he would not idle the car. He would park in a Tim Hortons.
That's all Tim Hortons is people like doing crack in the bathroom and people waiting for someone to get finished being fucked. People waiting for the cheaters to finish.
Yeah, and so, yeah, he would wait in the Tim Hortons parking lot and then pick her up. But then we asked whatever happened, and he was like, I ended up...
One more thing.
Oh, okay,
He would borrow his mom's car.
Oh, yeah!
So she didn't owe him gas because he was borrowing his mom's car.
Yeah, he would borrow his mom's car to drive his crush to get fucked. But...
And then wait in Tim Hortons.
And then wait in Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
And he said he ended up, like, moving to Toronto, making a bunch of new friends, living his own life. Then he ended up fucking her, and then he ended up being like, oh, like, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm kind of bored. I'm just, like, in Toronto having a good time now.
That's so healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, Mike.
Yeah, you deserve better.
Yeah, we're wishing to get there. I did have one question, because we kind of discussed what our showers were, like, a few episodes ago. So, okay. You're about to get fucked. You have a dick appointment coming up with, like, a guy that you're, like, really into.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. What's your everything shower?
My everything shower is I wash my hair twice.
Okay.
Condition my hair. Then...
Like, you shampoo twice, condition once?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I wash my body with my scrubby thing.
Yeah.
Shave from head to toe.
Yeah.
I will run out of shaving cream.
Right. Do you use shaving cream?
Yeah, why? What do you use?
Just soap.
Oh god, no, my skin's too sensitive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just cover myself in shaving cream and shave away.
Do you have a special razor for your...
I started using a men's razor.
Oh, right, we discussed this.
Yeah, because women's razors are a scam.
But you know how they have, like, vagina razors?
I don't use a vagina razor, do you?
No.
No.
I use, like, a two-blade fucking big.
Like, yeah, shave
go, baby.
Lower leg, upper leg, front and back, vagina, armpits.
Right.
Then get out of the shower.
Okay.
And then everything follow up, you gotta moisturize.
Yeah.
Because you've just shaved and irritated your skin.
Yeah.
Head to toe, moisture.
Okay.
And what else and then like makeup and shit. Oh, and then in my hair.
Right.
If we're gonna do that, I would do my like leave-in conditioner type stuff, I guess. Not it's not leave-in, but makes you nice and silky soft. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be, and then blow dry my hair. Right. Style my hair, do my face.
So this is your process, like, in New York.
Yeah, like, because I was hoping to get fucked by New York every day.
Right. Yeah, it would be 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of everything's in New York because we were going out. Yeah. I wanted to look good.
I actually, like, try not to put on makeup.
After an everything shower?
When I'm, like, if I'm, like, planning to have sex with a guy.
Oh, true.
Because I feel like it just, like, runs. No?
Yeah. I mean, I don't wear a ton of makeup anyways. Like, a lot of my stuff is, like, laminated eyebrows, laminated eyelashes. Right. So I kind of get away with that. Right. So it would just be like, yeah, maybe, no, not a ton on the face.
Like a light foundation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're correct there.
Yeah. Okay, so my everything shower. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much I love this scrub thing that we bought from Amazon.
But why?
Do you think it gets, like, germy?
Well,
do you think it collects bacteria?
But it's holding the soap. So
yeah, but it sits out on the thing. And then I feel like if it gets germy and then I'm scrubbing into my body, the germs...
I don't know, maybe rinse it out once in a while?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I do try an exfoliation because I feel like exfoliation has been good for me recently. I'm realizing that I need to exfoliate. Then, well, actually no, sorry. First I do a shampoo and conditioner. I never do a double.
Okay.
And then an exfoliate. And then I like to do a body wash with the loofah after the exfoliate as well.
It's too much, Monica. You don't dry your skin out.
But I feel like the exfoliate, like, I can't, like, I don't get into, like, my armpits with the exfoliate thing.
Okay.
Anyways, then I do just, like, a normal, like, whatever. And then, I do, like, a face wash. And then...
Oh, right, I do that too, yeah.
Yeah, in the shower. And then I get out. And then, yeah, I moisturize. And then I have a face exfoliator that I really like. It's, like, the Dr. Dennis Gross face exfoliating peels.
Oh, nice.
Which I enjoy, so I'll do that sometimes. And then I'll moisturize my face. And then I'll moisturize my body. Oh, yeah, and I shave too.
Yeah.
I guess that's it. I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah.
If anyone has anything interesting that they do.
Yeah, if you have anything to add. Do you do a hair mask?
Oh yeah, I guess I could do a hair mask. That's too much for just like a guy though. Like if I'm doing a hair mask, it's for myself. Oh, and I'll do like a self tan. I really enjoy self tans recently.
Oh, what one do you use?
I use the Saint Tropez.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always feel like self tan looks bad on me.
Oh really?
Yeah, it just looks blotchy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck it, I won't.
I like it a lot better than that fucking spray tan that I got. That was a disaster.
Off like leprosy.
Yeah, it was insane.
I know. It was truly insane. Anyone that gets them, I'm just like, how do you maintain this?
Yeah, like I have a picture of like my boob
Yeah.
with like a white splotch, and just the rest is like orange.
Yeah, but like, think of the Jenners.
Every day.
They do this, like.
That's what I think of all the time.
They permanently change their skin color.
Yes.
So they must be going for spray tans like every other day.
Yeah, and then you have to sit for 2 hours.
Crazy.
And then you smell weird.
Yeah. That's just be white, you know?
Yeah.
At that point,
just be white.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Be whatever race you are. That's my advice to you. Whatever race you were born as, accept it.
Or if
Embrace
you're fine smelling like tan and you enjoy that, get a tan.
I guess.
Be yourself.
If that's what you want, if you want to be orange,
yeah.
Be orange.
If you want to be orange, be orange. If you want to, I don't know, what the fuck ever. Anyways, guys, have a great week and tune in next time. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.